your rivals.
I think the big question will be about Bruno and his position. I think having him as one of the central midfielders. Look, he's United's best player. There's no doubt about it. On the ball, he's brilliant. But going to Manchester City against a Pep Guardiola team, playing that position, look, it took me years to adjust to that position. Because I was always a centre forward, and I needed somebody next to me who was an athlete and knew the position brilliantly. And that could be Nicky, it could be Roy, it could be Michael Carrick. Because I wasn't great at that. And all of a sudden you're playing, you get away with it in most games. I'd say 80% of games you get away with it. Then all of a sudden you play against the best teams, and you don't know where you are, thinking, fuck's sake. Phil Foden's just running behind me. Doku, as you said, coming in behind me. You don't know that position, so you don't do it. And that's what Bruno Fernandes is like. He's lost a little bit in there.
We'll get back to Scholes in just a quick second, but remember, if you like this video, please like, share and subscribe. And don't forget to click the notification button so that you know when the next Big D video hits. And as ever, if there's something on your mind, if something is bubbling up inside of you that you need to express, please express it in the comments. The Big D reads all of the comments and he's always interested in what is on your mind. Anyway, in this clip, Paul Scholes is going to be giving his brutally honest opinion on Bruno Fernandes playing in central midfield for Manchester United, and also potentially why Kobbie Mainoo should be playing from now on in Bruno's position. He's going to be talking about the derby match as well. Stick around for after the clip because the Big D is going to be giving his thoughts on Paul Scholes and what he had to say. Anyway, here he is.
Also, sorry, with Fernandes as well, what's mad with how he's got him playing now is, we were talking before we came on about FPL and fantasy football. Fernandes was always in the team because you know he's going to be a banker on pot. No, even that, it's not working.
I was going to say that. He's our best player last season. If it weren't for him, we'd be a lot worse off last season. He scores goals. He's the only shining light of the last 6 to 8 months at Man United in a team. And now we've lost that because they brought him back into a City midfielder. It's madness. I don't
they almost need two Brunos. They need the one who can play midfield and get on the ball, and they need one up front. He tries to do too much, and it's taking away his quality. I think you have to go back to recruitment for that as well. You think over the summer, they bought 2 number 10s. Did they need 2 number 10s in Cunha and Buemo to play in them positions? Well, why did you need that? We've got Mason Mount.
That goes back to what he wants to play, the box in midfield. That goes back to that. He wants to play that box in midfield, and that's what he's recruiting for as well. But it pigeonholes him. It kills him, because then if he wants to change it, who's going to put... We keep saying, no, we can't play with 2, but who's going to play in there? No one's got legs. None of them got legs in midfield that can get about a football pitch, box to box. And especially when it gets spread and you've got 2 people in midfield. If you spread a game from box to box, it's all right when you're tight and compact, but you spread a game box to box in like the 30-minute when a game opens up or you go a goal down, you could put anybody in there. You're not covering that ground.
I don't actually think legs was that much of a problem yesterday because if you look at the stats, Man United had more possession. They had more passes. It's mad for... against a City team that usually happens. I thought it was more quality yesterday more than anything.
But it's always quality at the minute. But my thing with legs is wanting to get that 10 yards to get against you, to get a tackle. And then once that ball's gone behind you and Foden's running off you, got to get the legs to get from there back 15, 20 yards again. And you can't do it.
But you think about recruitment, Nick, going right back to May, and this is the same midfield as he's had last year. He knew he didn't have legs in there. Address it. He had to address it somehow, and they've like gone with the forward players. Okay, 3 forward players. We don't really know how good they're going to be yet. We think they're good players. Obviously, 2 of them we know who've Premier League proven, but what's behind them just isn't working, and it hasn't worked for a long time.
Now I don't think it's what it used to be, and I would never say a footballer's ever gone on a football pitch and try and tossed it off. I would never say that. I can't imagine ever your own pride in what you do well. But let's be perfectly honest. If you're getting somebody from Portugal, which is brilliant, to go and get the best in the world and bring them into your group is what football's or best football's all about. But there's no one there whose parents have supported the club, grandparents, their great grandparents. They've not been to a school in the area. They don't know the hatred on a Monday after getting beat 3-0 on a Sunday. They don't know that. I'm not saying they won't try hard and it's any different when you go on a football pitch. But surely, God, if you've got 4 or 5 lads that are in the academy that have come through. Gladio said it about Phil Foden yesterday in his interview. If you've got them in your squad,
loves the club.
There's no way that can't be better for your club. because they know they run through a brick wall. They play for free for that football club on a derby day.
Yeah.
It's natural. It will happen. It's the same in any world. You look at Barcelona's team back in the day, Real Madrid's team back. They've all come through the academy. Now you still go and get 5, 6, 7 players like we had in our day that come from outside, and you ingrain yourself into that tradition. And you learn about it, but at the minute it looks like to me there's no one on that football pitch that. Remember when we were playing a derby? I knew if the best 11 back at '99, example when Scholes and Keane was suspended. If I'm honest, I knew most of the time in a big game I probably wouldn't play.
Yeah.
But I knew for a fact when a derby game come up, I was playing. Yeah. Because of my background, the way I was brought up, my philosophy, my love for the club. The manager was clever with that. He would always put the local boys on.
That, did he?
He'd always put the local boys on in a derby game.
And you saw the difference. Sorry, Paddy. You saw the difference, like you said. Mentioned Phil Foden.
Yeah, Phil Foden.
He looked like I've quite missed Phil Foden for last year.
Yeah.
What a player!
And a great lad as well. Lovely lad.
I don't know the lad, but I just love watching the kid play football, even though he plays for them. And you saw it in him. You saw him going around to people.
That's exactly
giving
what I
him
was just going to say to you.
Saying well done. And you could just see that in him, couldn't you?
When he's on, like that, at the start of that game, and you look at him and he's running, you can exactly what you say. You can see that in him now. Again, when you talk about the academy, then he brings Mainoo on, and I thought he's not got that look in his eye.
You know
so
why?
Has that been knocked out of him?
I don't think he's been respected the way he should have been, Kobbie.
Yeah.
He's a young boy, I get that. He's run off the boil a little bit, I get that. But he's 90, he flew onto the scene, he's playing for England. He's a top player. Any club would want him. And he's just been pushed aside. Now his mindset might be, you're bringing me on in a derby where we're getting battered. And I'm on my own on this football pitch. I'm running around like
he's actually quite good when he came on. I know he's been questioned about his legs and stuff, but he's got. It's not always about legs, you know what I mean? He's got a brain to play that position. I remember a couple of weeks ago, I think Amorim said, didn't he? He said he's in competition with Bruno. Yeah. So after a couple of the games that you've seen Bruno not do quite well, why is he not going to? He said, knock on his door, so I'm pretty sure Bruno's not been great.
Will that be going on behind the scenes?
Don't know. I don't know what Kobbie's like, but I'm not so sure players go and knock on managers' doors anymore.
I don't know if managers accept that anymore. I think some of the managers say, I don't want to speak to you about it. It's my decision. That's what I do.
Kobbie Mainoo, especially Nick, today, Monday morning, she was knocking at the door and said, I should be playing now.
I got told off my dad when I was 18, go and knock on manager's door. And it was the worst, honestly, Paddy, at 18, to go and knock on Sir Alex Ferguson's door. It was the worst thing. I was a bag of nerves. I was like knocking on like that. And I go, I go, Gaffer, why am I not playing? And as soon as I said it, I thought, I'm dead.
Like, why?
But I know for a fact, and I think he wrote it in his book, like, he used to expect you to go and ask. If you didn't ask the question, the next time comes round, you're the easy one to get dropped. I'm going to drop him because it's either me or Scholes are getting dropped. Yeah. Right. Well, I'll drop Butty because he's going to keep his mouth shut. But Scholes will knock on my door for the next 6 weeks, so he's easy to. Them little things like that must go in people's heads.
But also, as well,
I think Paul Scholes is absolutely bang on in this clip. It's not often I agree with Scholes. It's not often I agree with a lot of these pundits, to be perfectly honest, because generally speaking, I feel as though most of these players, when it comes to football management and whatnot, they can't see the woods for the trees, so to speak, because they were players themselves, so they're very used to seeing the game from a player's perspective, and it's a very kind of narrow view on the game, specifically speaking. It's always better to, when it comes to sort of the managerial side of things, it's always better to listen to a manager's perspective, you know? But in this instance, you know, even a broken clock is right twice a day. Paul Scholes is absolutely bang on. Bruno Fernandes should not be playing in central midfield. And yeah, he might get away with it against lesser opponents, but even in those situations, he isn't even doing that well against, say, Burnley. Not really. Or Fulham. And it's no fault of Bruno's, really, because, I mean, I don't think Bruno's asking to play in central midfield. It's just that Ruben Amorim is just insistent on playing him out of position, even though he's our best attacking player and we are struggling to score goals. But yeah, you might get away with it, or hypothetically, a player playing out of position as good as Bruno Fernandes playing in central midfield might get away with it 80% of the time. But when you play against a team like Man City, you are going to get found out. But yeah, I don't even think Bruno Fernandes has done anything really. And while he's been playing in that position to warrant him playing there full time for Manchester United. And the sooner Ruben Amorim realises this, the sooner Man United might, just might, kick on. But I don't know, Ruben Amorim has just started to make some weird selection decisions so far this season. And I think it started in the Europa League final when he started Mason Mount at number 10. And I think he played Bruno Fernandes at number 8 in that game as well. It's like, you've got the players now, mate. Play the players in their proper positions. We don't want to see Bruno Fernandes in central midfield. And, going to their point there, the Manchester derby, yeah, it was just a non-game, really. I mean, it just wasn't good. It was just weird. We were just resoundingly beaten, and that was that. And yeah, Phil Foden played really well. He's got a really good goal. And it is a shame that you don't see a lot of local lads, playing in these derbies anymore. And it very much is. I mean, these big clubs, they're very much dream teams now. They just sort of cherry pick the best players from around the world, or the best players that they can get from around the world. So it doesn't necessarily have the nastiness that these derby games used to have. But having Kobbie Mainoo in that game might just have made a little bit of a difference. And, maybe United might have gotten beaten 3-2 as opposed to 3-0. But when Kobbie came on, he did look good. And yeah, I agree with Paul again in the sense that he's got the mind for the position. So not everyone needs to be a box-to-box midfielder, but Kobbie Mainoo just might have brought a different dynamic where United could have got a hold of the game for 10 minutes and we might have had a little bit of control, and we might have opened something up and done something and got ourselves back in the game if we just had a little bit of balance. Now, it reminds me a little bit of when Dorgu signed for Man United, because United were a bit lopsided before we signed Dorgu. And I'm not saying Dorgu is an absolutely amazing wing back, but when we did buy him and he did start, it provided a bit more width and a bit more balance in the team. And then from there, we went on and got to a Europa League final. So perhaps playing Kobbie Mainoo in a position that he's specialised for and putting Bruno Fernandes up front, then again, it might just create a little bit of a balance. And then United might start scoring goals, or at the very least creating more chances. And then if we can do that, we might win more games and achieve more points. But no, again, another example of a manager overcomplicating what is a very simple game. Hey, good grief. This, honestly, watching Man United, it just makes me want to play Football Manager and just write the footballing world, right the wrongs of the footballing world in digital format on my computer. Hey, what can you do? But anyway, what do you guys think? Should Bruno Fernandes be playing in central midfield? Is the Big D a broken record now? Because he's been moaning about Bruno Fernandes playing in central midfield for a long time now. Even the Big D is starting to get sick of his voice talking about Bruno Fernandes. And honestly, it's not surprising that the Big D's video of Roy Keane having a go at Bruno Fernandes is starting to pop off a little bit on his YouTube channel. Have a look at it and you'll see what I mean. But yeah, thoughts in the comments, and the Big D will see you in the next one.